Okay, welcome back to my statistics class. So today we're going to talk about conditional probability. So this is example. Researcher randomly assigned 72 chronic users of cocaine into 3 groups. Desperate antidepressant medicine, lithium, which is the standard treatment for cocaine, and placebo. Results of the study are summarized to the right. If a person took placebo, what is the probability of that they relapse? So look, the probability of a person relapse, given they took placebo. This sign means given, this notation. Okay, so now take a look. The people who took placebo is here, and then they relapse. People who took placebo also relapse is there are 20 people who did that, right? So the probability should be the people who took placebo and relapse over the people who took placebo. Okay, so the people who take placebo and relapse is 20%, 20 over 72. Over, totally there are 24 people relapse. No, there's 24 people took placebo out of 72. So when we simplify it, we cross cancel 72 with 20 over 24. And simplify it, we have 5 over 6. Okay, so given the person who had lithium, what is the probability that they did not relapse? So now we're looking for a probability that people didn't relapse, given they had lithium. So now let's take a look. Where is it? Which one is given? Given that they took lithium and then they didn't relapse, which is in here. So the probability should be the people who didn't relapse and also took lithium over the probability of people who were given lithium. So the probability of people not relapse and had lithium is 6 out of 72 over the probability of people who took lithium, which is 24 over 72. So when we simplify it, we cross cancel 72 with 6 over 24, which is 1/4. Okay, so these are conditional probability. The probability of event A occurring given the event B had already occurred. That's the conditional, which is probability of A given B. B means they have already occurred. So that means when we're looking for example, this example 2b, we already know that, hey, the people already had the lithium. We're trying to find out the probability that they're not relapsed. Okay, so if P A given B equals to A, then the event A and B are independent. This means that knowing the event B occurs does not change the chance of a event A. I think there's a typo here. So that means given B or not, the probability of A occurring doesn't change. Okay, so now let's look at C. Given a person relapsed, So this is our B, right? That's given. Given means B. And then the probability that they took placebo. Okay, so we have probability of people who took placebo given the fact that they relapse. So this is conditional probability equals to the probability of people who took placebo and relapse over the probability of relapse. Okay, now let's take a look. The people who took placebo, let me change the color. Okay, people who took placebo, there are 24 out of 72 people who took placebo, and 20 people are relapsed. So now take a look. People who took placebo and the relapse is 20 out of 72 over the probability that, oh, I did it wrong. The probability is still 20 out of something, but we know that probability of people relapse is in here. And then people who took placebo and relapse should be this part, 20. So that means the people relapse, there are 48 people relapse over 72. So now let's simplify it. We have a 20 over 48. And simplify it by divided by 4, we have 5 over 12. Okay, so it's this treatment and whether they relapse independently. So now take a look at here. They told you that, hey, if the events are independent, then the probability A given B should equal to the probability of A. So now let's take a look. What's A? A is the placebo. Let's take a look. What's the probability of people took placebo? Now take a look. I'm going to use different color of pen. People who took placebo would be this row. How many people were given placebo? 24, right? So I have 24 people who were given placebo over 72. And then when we simplify it, we have what? Divided by 2, we have a 12 over 36, and then divided by 3 or 4, we have 3 over 9, and then 1/3. Okay, so now if they are independent, then the probability of a given placebo has to equals to the probability of people given placebo given they relapse. Right? That's the condition. But now take a look. We know that people who have the conditional probability is 5, 12. And then people who just took placebo is 1/3. These two are not equal. That means they are not independent. So these are the criteria to test if the events are independent or not. If they're not equal, that means they are not independent. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions.